Welcome back to Deweyi Drive. And most amazingly is that this is the work of the Lord. I want to believe that what Together Against Childhood Sexual Violence is doing is really the Lord's work. Because we shot this show yesterday. We stopped at part 1. There was a power situation. Today there was a power situation. In fact, as we're shooting part 2, that's how we ended up here on part 3. In part 2, we had spoken about what the concept of afterlife means to a childhood sexually violated. Okay, to a child who is sexually violated. And then we also spoke about parenting and what are some of those things we needed to know. And Gloria here, who is the founder of Together Against Childhood Sexual Violence, that organization, she gave us some tips on how, as parents, we're going to get more information. And she did tell us there's an app coming to give us this info, not just even about childhood, but about childhood sexual violation, but generally about the whole thing, that information we need to help us in our, on our journey as parents. Because like I said, our children are being violated under our watch and we do not know. And it would be so painful later to realize that you had a hand in it. And
can you imagine?
It is on.
Continue.
So if you're just joining us, welcome back to Deweyi So welcome back to the Deweyi Drive. If you have just returned and you're just joining us, we've ended up with a part 3. Really, the devil has fought this episode, but the devil is a liar. And I'm so grateful that my host here is a prayer warrior. In fact, before anything, you should pray against this thing. This part 3 must end. We should do this episode and give all the information je twagala abantu bafune okutegeera kukabasanya abaana na bice ebibeera ku bulamu bw'abaana nga bamaze okukabasanyizibwa omwana oyo obulamu bubeera butya, omuntu oyo ng'akuze obulamu bubeera butya, kubanga abantu bangi bakulu bakozesebwa nga baana bato by force, oba abakyala oba abaami ne babatunuza mu mbuga ya sitaani nga tebanneetuuka. Then on Stanley Aranya episode, together mu part 3.
Yes, welcome to part 3 of this episode. And let me tell you, yesterday God gave me a word, and I would like to first share this word with you. I'm a Christian born again, and we've been discussing. This episode has been fought, but tukiriza mukama nti kwagala kwe. Yes. So in Matthew chapter 18, verses 5 to 6, it says, whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck and to be drowned in the depth of the sea. So Jesus says that when you bring the little ones, when you receive the little ones, when you share with the little ones, when you support the little ones, you are receiving me. You are doing this to me. You're empowering me. If you do the good to these little ones, you're doing the good to me. But if you cause these little ones to sin, it would be better for you to be thrown in the what? In the sea, with a rope tied around your neck so that you can drown and be there.
That is the word.
Now, abaana banjawulo eri mukama, eri eggwanga, eri emisingi ejijja maaso, kubanga omwana takoma kubeera mwana. Omwana yakula n'afuuka omukulu ow'enkya. Kyova olaba nti obeera n'omwana kangeza omwana wa muganda wo n'ogendayo leero n'obalaba emyaka nga 2 oba 5 ne giyita woddirayo omwana aba yakuze dda. Mu myaka 3 omwana ali mu myaka nga 18 naye ng'omwana akuze Nange nga mwana gwo okuze kakati omwana oyo ate yafuuka omukulu ow'emyaka egyo. Omwana oyo kyonna kyaba yayitamu essomero lye yagendamu, community gye yakuliramu, abantu be yasanga nga peers ze, ebyo byonna bi-influencinga omwana oyo kyafuuka ng'akuze. Waliwo omwami yagenda n'agamba nti abantu bagamba nti Uganda erimu corruption, oba ebintu ebyenjawulo bye tumentioninga nti abaana bafuna mangu embuto ennaku zino. Omwana ayagala kitaawe, nze abaana nkompiitinga nabo, naye ng'ate wootunula emabega omwana teyeekuzizza, ayina waakulidde, era ebyo byakuzaalaba bye bimufudde kyali. So what am I trying to say? The children of today are the adults of the next generation, are the leaders of the next generation, are the generals, are the princes, are the princesses, are the kings and queens. So if we can give them time when they're growing up, if we can listen to them, it's very hard for adults to listen to children. Why? Because according to some adults, children cannot talk any sense. And yet there is a Uganda proverb that says, negwoza dakola ki akubira engoma nozina. So ono mwana wana kukubira engoma nozina anaaba akyayagala ogikubira, gwe muntu gwanalondo ogikubira, wonatuuka nga weetaaga obuyambi bwe, anaavaayo nakuyamba. Okitegeera naye nga kino kyonna kiva ku ky'omwana ono engeri gy'omukuzizaamu. Omwana ono we yafuna obuzibu najja n'akubuulira nga muzadde we ng'omuntu abadde akukuza, kangeze waliwo omusajja agezezzaako okumukabaasanya. Wafaayo, wawuliriza, wafaayo. What did you do after that? Omwana wamutwala mu ddwaliro, wagenda ku poliisi n'oloopa, walaga okufaayo okwenkaniddeawo nti n'omwana yalaba nti maybe byaganda buganye nti omusajja yalina connections. Omanyi waliwo oluusi we bigaana obugaanyi. Abantu, I acknowledge that. Some people really report. They will take the necessary precautions. Nagenda mu ddwaliro, nagenda ku poliisi n'aloopa, still they fail to get the justice. Maybe because the perpetrator is very powerful, maybe because the position of the perpetrator. Naye omwana aba alabye nti muzadde wange yagezaako. We tried, Even the mother will tell this child, I tried. And the child will actually see that my mom tried. And if they get in such a situation, they will protect their children because that is what they saw their family do. So we were looking at the power of parents, the power of guardians, the power of family heads. And most of the times, when you're talking about the family, since we're in a patriarchal society, family head, someone will look at the man. So most of the times, these decisions that are related to violence, that require protecting a child, someone might refuse to get involved in them. Nagamba ebintu nagamba taata we talina kye yakolawo. Okitegeera kubanga ki ono omuntu mu bwongo bwe oba ono maama taata yalina okufa kweyo ensonga webanga eri nsonga yakuuma mwana eyo nsonga ya taata yabagifaako. Okitegeera naye gwe ali mu family oba ali okumpi n'omwana ono ategedde ku nsonga eno, take the precaution of protecting this child. And how are you going to protect the child? Take the child to the hospital. Omwana bamukebere balabe, then go and report to the police. Omanye nti nchikoze. Now let me tell you a story. It is very difficult to learn most of the times without stories. I went for some research gig in this particular district. I will not mention the district because this is confidential information. When I went for this research in this district, I found that there's a particular organization, because those days I did not have an organization, I wasn't running anything, but I found that there was this good organization that had empowered women in this community. How did it empower them? It told them, it gave them the referral process, that if you hear or you get to know that a child is sexually abused,
this is what you do.
This is what you do. These are the steps you do. Get the child, take them to the hospital. After taking them, this, after taking them to the hospital, go and report. This is like information that is useless, but this is very important, and it can save a child. You never know
when this happens in your community.
Thank you very much. And it can save a child. So that is why I'm saying it over and over again. Never to be weereza, never to be teka ku TikTok, never to teka ku media platforms endala. Omuntu alaba nti wo wulira nti omwana akabasanyiziddwa oba womanya nti omwana akabasanyiziddwa, genda mu ddwaliro, mutwale mu ddwaliro. Womujja mu ddwaliro, genda olope ku police.
Nene baluwa y'eddwaliro.
Ng'okitegera. Ate kireme kukoma ku family yemu, mujjukire ennono yaffe nga abantu ba Buganda nti sina ba Buganda bokka naye abantu ba Uganda okutwaliza wamu nti era wotunulira percentage esinga ekuze mu myaka gyaffe. Okay. The people that are even above my age.
We were raised by the community.
By the community.
We were raised by the community. Thank you very much. Elders.
And I hear that if another parent found you, this is not even your parent, by the way.
They would tell your parent.
Yes, they will report to your parent. Thank you very much. So what am I requesting? That even if you are not the parent, you are a member of this community. Be a concerned citizen. Kino ekintu w'okimanyako kuba olugambo ddo lutambula. Lutambula mu community.
Omukyalo yalina omwami naye omwami oyo yalabika
abaana genda omwana oyo
abaana ate olusinga b'oyo omusajja ye taata waabwe. Don't wait, because this parent has failed to protect them. He's destroying these children.
Yes, you be the surveillance, be the camera, be the security camera wali oyinza obutasobola kuconvincinga mwana oyo mutwala mu ddwaliro naye genda obuulireko kuwa organization or police omuntu yenna gwe kikwatako. Please and please, because these children, you never know, this child will be your in-law, this child will be the wife to your son.
Ngabere traumatized wife, that means she'll traumatize her husband, because in her mind men are all evil.
Yes, this boy will be the wife to your daughter, will be the wife to your granddaughter. But you're failing to do the very little thing that you could do to save this boy. And what is this little thing? Take responsibility. As an adult, report.
Help this child, because sometimes the family is also handicapped. But
yes.
Nenga te kusobola bayamba. Nga olusi ne mama nga bwe tugambye mama babatya nga yagala dde okuloopa naye ate bwana agenda osanga omwami mukambwe wa kumusamiggo oba omuntu family member oba omwana ono they are niece or
ate boogere nabo.
There's so many issues at the family level where the family is also stuck, that an outsider would help this child and the family, because there are always people who want to do it but their hands are tight.
So I was still telling a story of this district and this organization. It taught them that wasn't actually their major aim. They were teaching them, I think, economic empowerment, but then they brought up this element, and if this and this happens, this is the procedure. This is
how you help the child.
Thank you very much. So it happens that one of these ladies that were taught is the teacher, and they were in school one evening, and it was assembly time. So you know how assembly time evening teachers will go and teach the children, go for assembly. And there is this particular girl. She went, instead of going to the assembly, she was in class crying. In class, I think, either in class or in the toilet. And she was not getting out. Like not inside, but on the outside. So actually, it was in the class, because it is a male teacher that finds this child crying. When he found the child crying, he goes on to ask, why are you crying? And she kept crying. Why are you crying? She did not say anything. So she goes on to call the senior woman teacher. That is why, by the way, it is very important for us to feed the senior woman and senior man teacher. information.
Yeah,
and our organization is doing that. We are feeding them with information. Tujabawa information. Tujabagamba, do this and do that. So this lady, good enough, she goes and she talks to the child. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Child first refuses to speak, but then she later speaks like she's wansuwamsiwa. Yeah, like her private parts
are on fire.
Her vagina is on fire. It is itching. It's itching her so bad. So what the teacher did, she told the child, let's go and see. I think they went and they went to the bathroom. So she saw, and what she did, she took her to the hospital because this is what they were told. When she takes her to the hospital, they gave her Panadol. Can you imagine? Now, here I'm calling upon all practitioners
to be realistic.
I mean, even the hospital. And I was, in our referral process, I was like, if we actually choose the government hospital, sometimes they are very far away from the community.
Yeah.
So it might our government hospital, for example, in this area, you will find that it is very far. In order for us to reach there, we have to spend money, and money is not always around. Yes. So I want to empower clinics and to empower those hospitals of area, so that if there is a teacher,
a child who has been abused,
if a teacher comes to the clinic, those nice clinic, if a teacher comes there, we can do what. They can
know how to support.
Yes, you know how to support, and then they can proceed to the police. So basically that. And now they give the child Panadol. When they give the child Panadol, the child
relief.
No. The lady was so pissed, but they gave the child Panadol. But what she did, she said after the hospital, you go to police. She went to police. She reported. When she reported this case, the police, actually the case was like this. This girl was under custody of her father.
Her father was doing this to her?
But this father of this child was a traditional healer, Uganda. And he was sexually abusing this child. And it is because, actually, no, it wasn't. He wasn't actually the father. He was... uncle. So this guy's wife had left. They had got issues, and this guy's wife had left. And now the wife is part of the group that is being trained, but the wife didn't do anything. She's staying in that same community. She knows what's going on in her husband's place.
But she kept quiet. Some family members, their hands are tied, but an outsider could save the entire family. Because when you help this child, even this man is taken away.
I hope we are learning from this story. Yes.
That in our own homes and our watch.
Yes, and
we are empowered. That's a trained and empowered lady.
Yeah,
but we are still not able to do something.
So this uncle is sexually abusing this girl. But remember, the wife left. Like, they had issues. The wife left. You see how is contributing to sexual abuse, because they had issues with the wife. GBV happened, and the wife left the home. And now the children that stayed there. This is it niece or nephew?
She's a niece.
So this guy is abusing this niece. And how is he abusing the niece? Sexually. And he keeps telling this niece, if you say anything to anyone,
I'll kill you.
Thank you very much. And what he does when he's going to sexually abuse her, he sends her for things, those things that will still scare the girl.
Hey, those
vajaja things.
Yeah, so she can't scream, she can't go away.
Thank you very much.
She's in the presence of great goods.
They
will strangle her if she makes any noise. Oh God! What?
So she is traumatized. So it is now. Is it called aggravated defilement?
Yes, aggravated defilement.
Yes. So she's now in that situation, and then one day the teacher recognizes this, and they report, and then the teacher proceeds to police. When she proceeded to police, no, I'm coming. When she proceeded to police, she reports the case. When she reported the case, they tried arresting the man. When they arrested the man, Now, this is a man with connections, because traditional healers work on even big people.
Yes.
Yes. So they work on big people. So I think the guy he stayed in prison for a few days. But this woman was on fire. This lady that reported was on fire. Who was setting this fire up? The entire community. You have bad manners. Why did you report your friend? What and what and what? You are a bad-habited woman. Even the mother of the child was saying, not actually the mother, the ex-wife of the guy, he cannot do that. What and what? But then they checked this girl. She's sexually abused by this chiman. I don't even know what to say. Then this guy stayed in police for some few days, and then they started wanting to buy off politicians. Go. Because after now, this girl, she was taken to her mother's place. And now the guy started buying off. He wanted to buy off politicians and different practitioners. Go to this girl's family and make sure you record a video. You keep pushing her until she says no. Remember, she's a child.
Yes? Scare her.
Keep scaring her until she says what we want to hear, and then record. So that is what happened. They tried. No. They tried it once. They tried it twice, and then I think I have a friend in that district. I'll have that friend. I think he tried now because when they kept telling these things to these politicians, they came to him. He's a project officer of a particular organization, the one I was telling you about that trained these ladies. And why don't I say his name? He did good work.
Say it.
It's called Justice. Thank you, Justice, for that great work.
Justice who?
I won't say the second name, but thank you, Justice, for that great work. So...
No, by the way, you can say the name. It is okay.
Yeah, Justice. Thank you for that great work. So, basically, when they came to him, these politicians, he gave them the information. He told them, no, actually, you're not supposed to do that. You are abusing the child's rights. We cannot have such perpetrators back in the community. My dear, the guy had his connections. And in like 1 week's time, the guy was out of police.
To look for this girl.
To the community. No, it was to the community. And he came boasting. What could you... Like, so you thought you could arrest me. Now the life of a girl is at stake. Remember, the family was all against the girl. So the teacher's life. But then I think you know how those things pass. So the things passed. But now the thing is this. Sexually abusing one child is not a concern for only one person. It's a concern for all. So if someone tries to protect a child and the entire community is against them,
you criminalize this person. Bad. You demonize the person doing good.
Yes, you know.
She should have kept quiet.
And yet, tuyino kuvayeyo. Nze ntera nnyo okugamba abantu nti ebintu ebisinga ebizibu ebisinga byetulina byetuwoza byetulina bivudde okubanga tugayaliridde okufa ku baana. Tugayaliridde okuendinga childhood sexual violence. Wotunulira ebizibu byetugamba byetulina. Teenage pregnancies are high. Naye zivudde kuki? HIV cases are increasing. Nalabye n'omuntu ng'agenda kukyogerako ku TV. Poverty levels are high. Zivuddewa. Prostitution is high. Evuddewa. Drug abuse. Like, you people, I told you, remember that yesterday, ono omuntu ali sexually abused, mu Afterlife, are experiencing ebintu bingi. Oluusi, ne emotions, ne stress, na buli kimu, bigenda muleetera okwagala okustopinga this pain you're experiencing. So, anakola ki? Agamba, let me try this drug. So, you see?
Basing on what you just shared, and I'm looking at the story of that girl, the community, the family, everyone is against her. This is a traumatized child. And just, her example is so many people. And I know that you have experienced this as a child. What is the healing journey like? how is healing even possible in such a situation? Where does one start? Say now that teacher is taking responsibility for this girl. Where do you start?
Meanwhile, let me tell you something. With childhood sexual violence, we have primary and secondary healing. Do you know that now that teacher is also traumatized? Do you know that? She also needs healing.
Yeah.
You know? So there are people that will listen. Yes, they cannot unsee. They take this to heart. So they all need healing. But the healing process is not like a one-time thing. It is a process, like I said. Get these children. Sometimes I saw different programs. There's a program in South Africa whereby I think they bring these children in one environment and they try, you know,
to allow them
to share. They try to allow them to heal, but it is a process that takes time. And if there is anything our government should invest in, my dear, is the healing process of childhood sexual violence. They should invest in it. We should have those, like, you know, when we talk of mental illness, we limit it to be caused by only drug abuse. But mental illness is caused by even these things, even childhood sexual violence. And we should not limit our center of healing to Butabika. There are different things people need to heal from. People need to heal from childhood sexual violence, and it takes time. And we need those centers in place. Me, I want to do them, but I do not have the resources.
Support, yes.
I need the support. And I cannot be doing them alone. They will not be impactful. A CSO is not enough. We need a government effort. We need doctors, specialists, psychiatrists to come in this thing. So it is a process, a healing process, and it is very long. But apart from that, there is something I want to say about the family. About parenting. Most of the times, some parents think it is very important. Now, they remember that it is important to parent a child when they become teenagers. To them, that is where the parenting strategies will come.
Peer pressure, what I need to try to help this child to stay on track and not get spoiled.
But where is the true parenting? Where does the true parenting start from?
Where does it?
Where does child development start from?
Home. At a child in the womb. At birth.
Even before the womb. When do you get the child?
Conception.
At conception. That process. How is your mental health? You know? And
as
then
you're carrying this pregnancy,
as you're carrying this child, what are you watching? What are you exposing to this child? Which language are you using? You know, people think childhood sexual violence is only like
the act.
The
sexual act.
I'm forgetting
Physical
that word.
Act.
It's only physical, but it is touching and non-touching. You can sexually abuse a child by just the language you're using.
And emotionally.
Some people, by the way, I grew up in a community. It is a slum area. You know, I think people are there. They really have a lot to talk about me now when they see me. We wind up. I grew up in a slum community area, and in this community, these are the communities where you are walking. You are a child and you are walking, and you hear very big words coming out of someone.
Adults you respect.
And they are shouting these big words. So the big words, I know you know what to be. I don't want to use this.
Bad words like my son Mufasa says, "Mommy, no bad words. No speaking bad words."
Yes. So people use bad words, and when they are pregnant, even, and they give birth to a child. And in the first days, like a child is, like for example, there are months, there are 1 year, 2 years. This parent is busy watching pornography with the child. This parent is busy, is busy doing this, doing that. With the child seeing, after all, you're busy getting naked or exposing your nudity to a child then. But this child you're exposing this thing to, there is something we are studying. Like I told you, the science of evidence-based parenting. And there is something I learned, and I laughed so hard, and I said, I think God loves me so much because I've not yet given birth to a child, and I'm a beneficiary.
All this information, yes.
Yes. So, and it is called 1,000 days of a what? The most important 1,000 days in the life of a child. That time to I think the age of 3 years old. And in these years, they tell us the brain of a child develops to 80%. Remember, where have I been even talking about the time of, even when the child is in here?
Conception, yes.
The ears of a child will grow when she's like 3 months old. So she's already hearing. You think the ears are there just for decoration? She's already hearing, Oh, he's already hearing, And even when now the child is in this level, like I've told you, that brain develops to 80%. So you can imagine everything the brain is taking in, it is storing, it is recording. Okay, wano wenzize webatu webakola, wano wenzize ebintu webitu webitambula, wano wenzize ekintu bwekiti kigenda. The brain is recording, recording. There is that kind of thing that says, that's why I was recording. So the brain is recording. So that most of the times you'll find that we do not remember lots of the things that happened when we were young. But I'm telling you, in those ages when a child is developing that knowledge and the kind of way they will respond to situations is because of the way they saw these things. Because this is what the brain was taking in. I remember I was studying psychology. Today I was here and I was saying, why did I drop psychology? And in psychology, they used to tell us how the coding of our brains. And they told us that there's this particular thing whereby they shared, and they told us that there are things that are not in your consciousness. Are you thinking about your ears right now?
I'm just thinking.
No. I'm asking you. What is in your consciousness right now? The conversation you're having, right? If you're not thinking of things like your ears, like the school you went to in primary, are you thinking about it now?
I'm just thinking about everything we're talking about now.
Yes. But now, if you get into a situation, for example, you go to kids to a school and you see children performing, they are dancing, and then you also used to be a dancer in your school, do you know that will trigger you? It will remind you, and it will bring that to your consciousness. You'll be like, Kale, we also used to dance when we were in school. About Tegeda. Kakati mujine emyaka omwana obwongo bwe developing emyaka ejebiri mkwesa tu, where it has developed 20%. Omwana ono wanaatuuka mu situation nga yeetaaga response, obwongo bwe bujja ku driving something from way back like this. It is the response it will give. I am not saying it's scientifically proven, but what I am saying that is scientifically proven, that a child's brain grows to 80% in those first 1,000 days of a child, and they are very important. That is why there are some people that have known this thing that actually give up their jobs. There are some women abagamba, omulimu gusoke gudde bali, let me first raise this child. So basically, that is what I have to say about that.
Wow. So let's talk about healing. What does healing look like? Like we had already I'd introduced the question. And for somebody who is watching and they're like, I've struggled with this thing, and probably this is the first time they know that it's okay to speak up and speak about it.
So, healing. Before, like while I go into that, there is this thing on media whereby people say, heal from that thing. They think you're going to heal by them saying heal.
Heal.
They
sister,
think
heal. You must be going through something. Heal.
Healing, like I said, is a process. I'm sorry, it's a process, and a process that takes time, and a process that depends on even the people that are around you. The people that are around you. which kind of information are you getting from these people? Like, why would I say healing even involves the people around you? Why? Because even triggering does not take anything. You can just be still triggered by the same people around you. So healing, you need to first accept that actually I was sexually abused. I wanted to say this. Most of the people that were sexually abused are still living in denial. They are living in denial that they were sexually abused, one. They still think it is their fault. They still carry the shame.
Yes.
They still think, okay, this happened because of me. Maybe I was too careless. Maybe my mom kept telling me to stay home and I refused to stay home. And you'll find that even this thing of calling upon youth that are maybe survivors of childhood sexual violence, they don't want to come out. And some people will just inbox you and they tell you, by the way, let me tell you, don't tell anyone, but I was sexually abused. Yeah, this and this happened to me. But they cannot stand up for the next generation, you know. And what is healing? The very, very first step of healing is accepting. Okay, this happened to me. Now, what can we do? Now, what information do I need? First of all, you can help yourself throughout healing. The first important thing is counseling. Accept to talk to someone. Accept talk to someone. Some people's healing might not come from talking to a doctor, but it might come from sitting with someone that was actually also sexually abused, but now has grown out of it, you know. If that is what you feel you need, call Gloria. Call anyone else. And let me tell you, people, do not victimize. Do not stand there in your comfort zones and now condemn us for speaking out. We are not only speaking out because it is our way of healing, but we are also speaking out because we want the next generation to be protected. If you are now aware and your parent, and now you know that actually there is something like sexual abuse, that my child can be in my house and they're sexually abusing them and they're silent, if I speak out and you know that it can happen like that, you will be conscious. So if we come out to speak out, please, do not stigmatize us. So the thing has been this. When you accept that I was sexually abused, you know, it is the first step. If at all you remember. And then you do what? Go on, seek medication, seek counseling. You might not need tablets to swallow. The medication I'm talking about is counseling, you know. Go out for this, you know. Speak to someone, share with someone, you know.
Open
up. And on top of that, try to empower someone that is in that situation.
Because you have
a
been
child.
there.
Thank you very much. Try to empower someone. Like, we are here, we are supporting children. If you can reach out and you help us, it would be a good thing. It is, you know, it is good to do good, you know. So in that process, you're trying to do good.
Yes.
We heal like this. It's a process. And then if you see that things are becoming so hard, that is not working, don't get worried. You will not heal in 1 minute. Healing takes time. It can even take you 2 years. It can even take you 3 years. But also make sure you surround yourself with people that are ready to heal. People that are on a journey to heal. You know, do not be there. You're trying to heal from childhood sexual violence, but the people that you have around you
are violators
themselves.
They're violating children under your
They post weird things on their statuses. They post pornography. They post all those things that do not do what?
Sorry.
Do not concern, you know, that will trigger you. So basically, I think that is one thing we should look out for in healing. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So basically, you should keep up. Try to empower yourself, even with information. You know, let me tell you what I do personally. There are different videos on YouTube. that aim at providing this information, emotional empowering you, that are aimed at doing all this. So my dear, what you should do, go to YouTube, search about these things, hear about this, what these professionals are saying. Do not blame yourself. What these look like easy things. These look like the things you've heard about already. These look like the things you've known about already. But listen to them, give them time, and then you will heal slowly by slowly. Like I've said, come to our what? Our
support community.
Yes, our support community, our safe spaces. Because like I said, we have that campaign. It's called Voices for Protection. That we are not just survivors. We are not just people that were used, but we can be people that can empower children. We can be people that can empower change of policies. We can be people, we can be people that can empower others to step in, to look into this thing. Yeah, basically.
Wow. There is so much about this topic, and when you talk about it, like you said, I think when someone has not experienced something, sometimes it just feels like you're seeing statistics. But these are not just numbers, they're real people. They are children, they are our children, they are our relatives, they are our friends' children, our colleagues, religious leaders' children, how you're protecting the church, and somebody else could be violating your child.
Yes.
So nobody's safe. But everybody can do something about this. How has your experience shaped your understanding of relationships, trust, intimacy? Okay.
So
our producer was just telling us to watch the
wind
clock.
up. I think I think we are good to even go. But personally, I had all this. Like I told you, most of the times when you're introduced to sex at an early age, it's difficult to stop. You will continue with this, and then you will in its different states, different forms of abuse, you'll continue with it. And there was a time I actually hated men. I hated men. I hated men. And to the I didn't hate them as friends. I actually could have most of them as my friends. But then I just hated their nature. But then, and even my relationship life was not so good. I used to not to care. Like, even my love life. Like me, I have not been a person that cares a lot until... I think until recently. No, don't say that recently I got a man. And
because when you smiled, it looked like
Until recently, I think I healed. When I started actually speaking up, is when I got healed. By the way, I healed, and I talked to different people, and different people empowered me. I have friends, very good friends. God has God has gifted me with good friends. The word of God has helped me. Literally, my spiritual life has empowered me a lot. My pastors, my friends. Basically, that is what I can say.
Yeah, I think you spoke about voices of hope. I was going to ask what the future looks like for you now.
The future for me now, what I am seeing, first of all, I was saying like, we are empowering children, we are empowering parents, we are empowering who, we are empowering who.
All of us,
all of you. All of you.
Yes.
But now there is some power I am seeing in empowering survivors.
You're feeling
some fresh power I feel in empowering survivors of youth, of childhood sexual violence, especially the youth. Now I am seeing these people as people that are going to now, like, as a great movement that is going to come not only to speak up, but also to create things. Some impact, to change things.
Now these young boys, when they get the word early, they will not be violators of fellow children.
Yes,
they
and also
cannot violate children like the children on the screen.
Yes,
because now they have been mentally prepared to know that you cannot do this to a fellow human being.
Yeah, and besides, that's why it's very important to give information to those people, and people really undermine and minimize the power of sexuality education, but it hurts me a lot. But there is a lot of power in there. There is a lot of power in telling a child to say no to sex, because let me tell you, if obutamanya tebukujjisaako musango oba butamanya tebukukozesa kituufu, omwana w'omugamba nti mwana wange w'otuuka w'okula ogenda kufuna kino na kino, ogenda kufuna ensonga, ogenda genda mu nsonga, ate w'onaagenda mu nsonga amabere we ganaakula, amasajja bagenda tandika okusiiya. We bakusiiya
kola bwoti,
w'otamugamba kyakukola nga bamusiiyiza agenda gamba
birungi bwe biti
kumbe
abantu banda bandi bulungi
okitegeera. Naye ng'ate w'omuwa amagezi gano, w'omuwa okubuulirirwa kuno n'amanya nti ddala nno kituufu gye bali abasiiya. Era waliwo those children that are proud, abo abeeranga ne pride. Va ku ekyo nti ye omusiiya n'akugamba nze ebyo, omugamba nti I love you. My mom told me that. Period.
Empowered child.
My mom told me that. Natambula omuwala oyo gw'oyagala okusexually akuabusinga n'akuloopa. Teacher ono muwala ate nga abaana babakyawanga nnyo, naye abo abaana bakola ekyo kubanga they are empowered. Their parents have told them to report. Okitegeera. Kati omwana mugambe nti oli wakugamba kino gwe kyangu ŋŋambe. Be friends to your children. Communicate with them. Literally, that is all I have for today. That is my package for today. Practice positive parenting. If you cannot, if you know yourself, ngo omanyi tutukane twemanya. No manya nayagamba neze nga sijja bisobola. Reach out to people that can. Involve yourself in these parenting programs. There is parenting for respectability. We are going to adopt it as Together Against Childhood Sexual Violence. So reach out.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're involving parents now. As you're speaking to the children, we really need this information because it is so painful to find out later. And you don't know, and like you said, it may not be in my house, but if I see in my community, if I am empowered, I would be responsible to save this child's future.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would know where to start. Like, I am one of the people that keeps learning on this show. I thank you, my guests. Every time you come here, nange njiga. Katingane ronchize. I'm very vocal. I think I wouldn't keep quiet if I saw a child being violated. Nendo zanandi karakasisa, but so what? Kati ntegede ncho mwana pusinga ntegede ncho amukabasanya oba muntu ali munju yange oba wa Uganda tusoka mu ddwaliro. Tuve mu ddwaliro tudde ku police. Ebisigadde ne tubiwoza. Naye ngo omwana tutasiza obulambo because in the hospital is where they will get paid, they will be tested for all these other issues. Maybe even it has been happening for long and they already have STIs that need treatment immediately. So I have learned a lot. I have personally been empowered by this episode. No wonder that devil is fighting it. Kubanga tayagala abana baberenga batasibwa. But this ministry is very powerful, and I look forward to the next week. I'm sure we will have you again. This topic is so big, it is so rich, but unfortunately it's very sensitive. Atenga bwe buno bulamu bwe tuyitamu sibipya tubiraba tubiwulira, but how do we be part of the change? And that is what I love about this show. Nti mukama yamala najua direction, change makers. Nti as muli kwenu program nafe tuyiga nti I cannot katinga boyogedde nti omuntu yenna asobola okubeera change maker omusawo n'amanya nti teacher bwandeetera omwana bwenti bwe nnyambako teacher kubanga kati this is our responsibility fenna okutaasa obulamu bw'omwana ono tebakabasanya baana bawala bokka n'abalenzi nti bamaama bakabasanya abaana abalenzi bannani baabwe ababalera awaka abakozi b'awaka nabo abawala abo bakabasanya abaana.
Ate ku nsonga eyo kanjogereko bwe nti kati nga wali wenna kugambye nti when you're grooming these children, don't suppress their feelings. Don't say nti kuno okusimula kw'abawala okutuula okwogera ne maama kw'abawala abawala be batula ne balaba TV mama oba bichi like the connection
omulenzi no
ignoring. That means you're going to suppress this boy's feelings, telling him for you men are supposed to be like this, men
be strong and brave,
feeding them with lots of toxicity, thinking it is masculinity. Yeah? But yet you could empower them, yes, with the dominant masculinities, the positive masculinities, and also empower them to speak up. Nti omulenzi ono ne waba ali sexually abused ajja kusobola okugamba nti bannange mami waliwo nno omuntu wankozesa ekintu bwekiti naye tuli mu community nga omulenzi all the time their emotions are being suppressed, their feelings are suppressed. Yayogereko ye bamusekerere yakole ki ye bagambe yeraba nno omusajja yakulirawo naye ng'ate nabo bali sexually abused. I am telling you, people have inboxed me telling me, by the way, I was sexually abused by our neighbor when I was a kid. I was this age, I was 9, I was this. Nenga tewali muntu gwe yagambako kati nanga ngambye
to release the
nanga gwagambye ngambye naye ngambye owange anti munange gwobikolamu naye tobyogerako. Kati nze nayo when will I bring that data of actually even men are being sexually abused, like this sample when you also stopping me from even talking about this thing. So
yet you could help.
It would help even some boy out there. Yeah.
Wow. It was such an amazing experience. I really thank God for this show. It's I believe the Lord is doing something. Families will be delivered by this episode. Teachers, caretakers, banaye. I know you still want more Gloria. Naye kati eno part 3 to mukirize Gloria akomeo next week. She's I don't know, she's so full of this information, but most importantly I credit Gloria for being selfless, for saying I'll take the fall, I will tell my story, and I will help families, I'll help children out there. They don't have to go through what I went through, and I love that, and that's amazing. God bless you.
Amen.
So to support together against childhood sexual violence, just let the audience know how they would connect with you, and we'll be out of here.
I think about that. We are having a website. We put up a website. You people, organizations need money. We need your support. So we put up a website, but it was not also free. So we paid some money, and we are just starting, and I'm not like currently employed somewhere. So it is God's grace.
Wow.
When it is God's grace. And please, we receive individual support, we receive organizational support, we receive every kind of support. No woli muntu oli wansi newe jiba mitwale 5, newe jiba mitwale 2, newe jiba mitwale 10 jonna gisobola ku impactinga kubanga zino projects okuzirunning okureachinga abantu abangi twetaaga sente, twetaaga facilitation mukitegera abantu bange. We need your support. We need you to support us. So we have a bank account in ABSA, and I think should I read it for them?
Go ahead.
Nange mutu wakusente. Okay, let me read our account. I do not have it offered, but I just have it here. Meanwhile, let me read my phone number where you can still send the money. On my MTN, it is 078 7989 440. 078 7989 440. That is my MTN. It has my name's Nabunya Gloria. Thank you very much. And then our bank account, it is in our names together against childhood sexual violence Uganda. Our account is 600 600-9060-241. Let me read it again. 600-9060-241. That is our bank account. It is in ABSA Bank. We thank you, ABSA Bank. You people, it wasn't even easy to get a bank account, but I thank God. So check out our website, Together Against Childhood Sexual Violence. I'm putting up the fund. Thank you very much. Have a good day.